Hi guys, and we're live. So the day has finally come for the official announcement of the England squad for the World Cup in Qatar, and the expectation is that Gareth Southgate will be announcing his squad for the Football World Cup in about 10 minutes time, and we'll analyze and react to the same. Let's see who goes in, who's not in, and well, speaking of World Cup, first of all, congratulations to England cricket team, and they've made it to the final of the T20 World Cup against Pakistan, which will be, of course, played on Sunday, and they're uh, they'll be playing Pakistan at the MCG like the last time when the World Cup final was held at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. So let's see what happens. Last time round, it was Pakistan who came out on top in 1991. They beat England by about 30 odd runs, from what I can remember. It was a long time ago, but nevertheless, that's not why we are here. We are here to discuss and analyze England's World Cup squad, which begins on 13th November or on 20th November, and the first match of which is Qatar versus Ecuador. Ecuador have been through a bit of a tumultuous ride since getting through to the World Cup. Of course, with Byron Castillo, um, the issue is now gone, and we'll see what happens in the World Cup. But anyways, let's get back to the topic. Enough of the talking. So just before the World Cup squad is officially announced by Gareth Southgate. There have been a few tidbits in the media. I've been following the news since the morning, and over the past week, fortnight, there have been discussions as to who will make it, who won't make it, who should make it, who probably won't be making it, who's been injured, who's been working hard. Of course, you might have seen through the thumbnail, Reece James is out. The news coming out is initially, at least in the morning, was that according to Daily Mail, that James Madison perhaps isn't in the squad, but then I think it's Matt Lawton I think of Times or the Telegraph. He's saying that James Madison is in the squad. Of course, we'll have to wait for the official announcement from Gareth Southgate, which, as I said, should happen in the next 4 or 5 minutes. Gareth Southgate is expected to announce his England squad at about 7:30, which is 2 o'clock British Standard Time or GMT. So we'll have to see what happens. Other news is that perhaps Callum Wilson, as a Newcastle fan, I'm happy for him that he's in the squad, England squad, and will be going to Qatar, probably as a backup to Harry Kane. I think if it Harry Kane will start all the games, and then we'll see what happens. Uh, of course, that means, according to various reports, that Tammy Abraham, who's been doing reasonably well, according to various reports, Tammy Abraham, who's been doing really well at AS Roma, is not in the squad in the last international break where England played. England played. Who did they play? They played Germany and Italy in their League of Nations League group, where they lost to Italy in Milan 1-0 and drew 3-3 with Germany at Wembley. Even Tony, you might remember, was called up to England's squad. Unfortunately, he didn't get to play any minutes, and he's been in fine form for Brentford, his club. He probably won't be making it either. So let's see. Apart from these two, who else makes the squad when it? I mean, apart from Harry Kane and Callum Wilson, who else makes the England squad for the World Cup? So remains to be seen. Other players about whom I'd like to talk about uh, Nick Pope of Newcastle. Of course, is expected to be on the plane last night in the Carabao Cup. He saved three penalties. So Jordan Pickford, of course, will be number one for England, and yeah. So Nick Pope, if it comes to penalty shootout, Nick Pope can come in just for the novelty factor to put a kind of a fear in opposition's mind that yes, he's a good shot stopper, good penalty stopper. Even though even though when Nick Pope was at Burnley, I don't remember him saving that many penalties, and but he saved three penalties yesterday. Kieran Trippier is in the squad. One person whose name I haven't read or heard that much is that because Reece James is out, Kyle Walker is still injured. Trent Alexander Arnold, I don't know what will happen with Trent Alexander Arnold. He he defensively he's been poor this season. He's even I mean, like, you could say that the whole England team, a whole Liverpool team has been poor this season. But Trent, even in the game against Tottenham that Liverpool won 2-1, he was caught out a couple of times. Could have given a penalty for a foul on Ryan Sessegnon, and there was a shot that Ivan Perisic took, which hit the bar. I think it was the bar, not the post. So, which hit the bar. It was his mistake. The player was coming from his side. He was just totally caught unaware. So, I don't know whether Kyle Walker, how fit he is, and where he goes, whether he goes to the World Cup or not. But remains to be seen. So we're getting really close now to the squad being announced. Uh, I think the third goalkeeper would be interesting, even though everyone has got down to the three goalkeepers, as the three goalkeepers would be Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, and Aaron Ramsdale, who plays for Arsenal. The defenders, once again, Gareth Southgate being a predictable defensive manager, he would go for Harry Maguire, Eric Dyer, these kinds of players. So let's see where or who gets selected officially. We can all speculate. Yes, the people who are you know in the know, the journalists, etc., have been putting out tidbits so that everyone knows who everyone basically has a rough idea. One thing, the good thing is that 23 instead of 23 there can be 26 people, so that gives managers some leeway as to who I mean, like it allows them to be a bit more flexible, or I mean, like it allows them to uh, you know be a bit I mean, like it gives them a little more rope to to experiment basically. So I think the squad has now officially been announced. Let's go through it. Let me just go through it. There might be a moment silence from my side because the squad has now been announced. I'm just going through it on Twitter. So let's see who's in the squad officially. So here we go. So here we go. Let me just play it through without the noise because I can't do that. So um, Pickford, Pope, Ramsdale are the three goalkeepers. And then we are going through to defense. Trent Alexander Arnold is in the squad. Eric Dyer is in the squad. Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, and Ben White. These are the defenders that are going to the Qatar World Cup. Here are the midfielders: Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Henderson, Mason Mount. I'm sorry, I missed one name. So let me just go back to that. Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips is in there. I mean, this is one, uh, one name that we'll discuss about. Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, James Madison, Marcus Rashford, and Bukayo Saka. These are the six attackers. Raheem Sterling and Callum Wilson are there as well. So just let me take a screenshot of that so that I can, I can use it. So just going through the names once again. England squad has been announced. It's Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, Aaron Ramsdale are the goalkeepers. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Connor Cody, Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, Ben White. These are the defenders. Uh, Midfielders: Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, and Declan Rice. No James Ward-Prowse as was predicted by a few. So I mean, we will of course come back to this. Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, James Madison, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, Callum Wilson. These are the names. Of course, as I said, it had been circulating in the news that there was going to be no, there was going to be no Tammy Abraham or even Tony. So these are the names. And like one name that just straight away jumps out at you is of course that of Calvin Phillips. I mean, the guy hasn't played football for very nearly 6 months. Why are you taking him to the World Cup? I mean, do you not have any other option? Ward Prowse, I can agree that he's been a little poor. I mean, for Southampton, his team is fighting a bit of a relegation battle. But I mean, seriously, Calvin Phillips, Conor Gallagher, he's not been that good either. This squad, I mean, like as a player or as a athlete, even when you are playing at a school level or a district level, you can see that you are better than some other players, and perhaps you should have been named in a particular squad. But I mean, uh, I mean, let's be honest here that Connor Cody, Connor Cody. Anyways, let's just start over. Let me just try and get a screenshot of a squad uh, so that we can look at the squad and then discuss the same because this thing is a bit of a, I mean, hard thing to get used to. Uh, Jordan Pickford, yeah. Connor Cody is in the squad. People who should feel hard done by the selection of Connor Cody are Mark Gahey and of course Fikayo Tomori. There was news that these two won't be in the squad, but Connor Cody, he's been I won't say he's been poor, but he's been playing for an Everton side who basically defends deep. So I mean they aren't going to be they aren't going to be conceding a lot of goals, so they could in theory look better defensively. But Fikayo Tomori, people have been speculating that the red card that he got for AC Milan when Chelsea were playing, that thing went against him, and that he gave away a penalty as well, of course, as a result of that foul, which then resulted in a red card and a penalty, which meant Chelsea went 1-0 ahead at San Siro. So, I mean, Mark Gahey could have been selected, but these guys are like Trent Alexander-Arnold, yes, with Reece James getting injured, uh, and it was always going to be thing that was that meant that Trent Alexander-Arnold was going to get selected. I sitting here, I can say that um, I don't think that unless England are trailing badly and there's a desperate need for or England are riddled with injuries, that Alexander Arnold is going to get any game time. So that's just what I think of that selection. Just give me a minute. I'll try to put the squad up on the screen. Uh, just a minute. I'll just try and put up the squad up on the screen. So basically, another person who I think whose name will be discussed is that of Calvin Phillips. He's, as they have been describing them in their news items. Just a minute, just putting the squad up on the screen, and you should be able to see the England squad soon. Just a minute. So here it comes, the squad. So just three goalkeepers are three goalkeepers are so here is the England squad. You should be able to see it now. Uh, Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, Aaron Ramsdale, and now let's just discuss the squad the way, I mean, like position by position. I have got no problem with the goalkeepers that have been selected. Jordan Pickford has always been Gareth Southgate's number one choice keeper. He will start the first game against Iran. I think it is on 21st, and he deserves to be. He's been a loyal player against under Southgate, and I think he'll start the game. He's been good for Everton as well, an Everton side that hasn't been firing on all cylinders. Who's Because they are not attacking that much. They are defending. So yeah. Domestic club form wise, he's been doing okay, and yeah, so Jordan Pickford, he'll start all the games, and Aaron Ramsdale, I think, will be the third choice. Nick Pope, as I told you yesterday, was involved in a remarkable penalty shootout. He saved three penalties from three Crystal Palace players, which meant Newcastle progressed to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup, the League Cup as it is known as well, and so that's the goalkeepers. Trent Alexander Arnold. I think he's just there because Reece James got injured. Uh, Personally don't I mean, he brings in a great attacking quality if Gareth Southgate plays three at the back, which he has been doing for a while now, and there's enough protection behind him, then I think Trent Alexander Arnold can be a great option. But let's see whether he gets selected as one of the players or not. Yeah, last time round it was Reece James. He was fit at that time against Italy and Germany. So let's see. Uh, the three central defenders, I don't know who Southgate will go with, but Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire, and last time round it was John Stones who was playing. Uh, so Connor Cody coming in is a bit of a surprise. Eric Dyer, he's been in decent form, but you might remember in Tottenham's last game against Liverpool, he made a big mistake. He came off the bench yesterday against Nottingham Forest, where uh, where Tottenham lost 2-0 to Forest, of course, and he was okay in the second half. Tottenham were 2-0 down. They were dominating position. Forest went down to 10 men after Mangala was sent off, but there was nothing to do. I just don't get the hype around, get the hype around Eric Dyer. He's nothing special in a back three. I have played, of course not as an international, but like in back three, if you're playing central of the three defenders, then it is pretty easy to cover. You don't have to run that much. You don't get that tired. You just need to cover up the player either side of you needs to cover. So I think. In these three games, it will be Dyer on the left, or Maguire on the left, Dyer center, and then on the right it would either be John Stones or uh, or Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker has been injured quite a bit, and let's see. That's what I am going by, given what Gareth Southgate has been doing in the past. Um, the two wing backs, of course, left wing back. I think he'll go with Luke Shaw. I can only see him as the left wing back even though Kieran Trippier of Newcastle can play there as well, and Kieran Trippier of Newcastle can play there as well. But I see him with going with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw scored in the final of the Euros against Italy, even though England lost that game. Um, 3-0 on penalties. So yeah, I mean, I can see him going with Luke Shaw. The we have talked about Reece James, but then there's another big loss on the left side of defense or wing back, you may call, in Ben Chilwell, who's also out with a hamstring injury. In case of Reece James, he was told few days ago, couple of days ago, that he won't be making it to the squad. There was a chance that he could be fit for the knockout rounds. Of course, England are expected to get out of their group B, where they have where they have USA, Iran, and Wales. Should be pretty easy, but then they have either. I mean, like, I'm only assuming based on rankings that England will play either Netherlands or Senegal from Group A of the World Cup, because Qatar and Ecuador, it could be Ecuador, but, with the especially with Sadio Mane getting injured and getting himself ruled out of the World Cup. So so I mean, for me, it could be uh, it could be it could be it could be Ecuador as well, but most probably Netherlands or Senegal from the Group A of the World Cup. Anyways, moving forward, so I, right wing back it could be it could be Trent Alexander-Arnold, and on the left side it could be Luke Shaw. Uh, but I mean, knowing the way Gareth Southgate plays, it could be anyone. Perhaps Kyle Walker could play as uh, as the right-sided wing back, and Alexander Arnold not. So this is the back five. I think Gareth Southgate is going to go with. Then we have the midfielders. Um, so let's suppose it is 5-3-2 or 5-2-3 or 3-4-3. So the two midfielders, I think his first choice would be in this scenario would be Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham. These were the two who had been playing or were the first choice. Who were the first choice when England played. But Mason Mount, he's not been in that good a form over the last few days, few games, few weeks. Even though he scored a few goals in the Chelsea's win, which they haven't done in the last 3 or 4 games. So Mason Mount did score. I don't exactly remember who the opponent was for Chelsea, but I think he's going to go with Declan Rice. That Declan Rice for sure, and Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is only young. He may interchange between Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham. Sorry, not Jude Bellingham, Mason Mount and Jude Bellingham. Calvin Phillips, depending upon his fitness, he might play as well. But this is one selection that I am totally not in favor of. I mean, how can you expect a manager to come out and say that the players will be selected on form and then select Calvin Phillips? What form has he been in? Has he been in? I mean, he's barely played. You know what? 70 odd minutes of football in the last 3 or 4 months. He's been injured for the most of the time, and now you're selecting him. For the perhaps what is Gareth Southgate's last event as manager of England. Rumors are that he will be he'll be moving on from his post. Let's see what happens. These are just rumors. I take no guarantees, or just what I've read in the English dailies that that he's this will be his last big tournament. And I mean, even Conor Gallagher, I mean, you could argue and tell me that who else should be in the squad, because you could say that that yeah, there aren't many options apart from Conor Gallagher, Calvin Phillips. I mean, you could have picked James Ward-Prowse. He's I mean, yes, Southampton has been struggling, but Southampton have been struggling in the last 2 or 3 years as well, where James Ward-Prowse has been in good form. He can take a mean free kick as well, but so can a lot of other players. Okay, you might want to rule out the free kick part of it, but it's as an option. Perhaps he would have been a better one, but. I guess Gareth Southgate will live and die by the sword that he has chosen for himself. I mean, it's just that I don't know what to say about the selection of Calvin Phillips. Has especially got me stunned. You know, I was reading a report where they said if he gets selected, he gets selected, and I was like, oh yeah, there's Calvin Phillips as well. I mean, like I had completely forgotten his name, even Calvin Phillips's name. He, I mean, and he came and he played last 30 minutes against Chelsea yesterday. A game, if you go by statistics like XG, then Chelsea had the chances, or they had a higher XG than Manchester City. But Calvin Phillips really, I mean, I if you were to ask me, today is what, 10th of November, and the World Cup final is around 18th of December. So I personally can't see Calvin Phillips playing any number of minutes. I mean, if I had to put my money on it, I'd say it would probably be less than. Less than 90 minutes. I mean, unless it's a dead rubber, or you are trying to hang on. I just can't believe that how Calvin Phillips has gotten selected in this squad. It just makes mockery of everything that that Gareth Southgate have been saying. Just it's like this is our clique, and I'm going to stick with this clique. Um, Anyways, enough about the midfielders. Forwards. Let's move on to the forwards that England has chosen. Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, James Madison, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, and Callum Wilson. Let's get the obvious ones out of the way first. yes, Bukayo Saka was probably going to be in there, and deservingly so. He's been outstanding for Arsenal, and he's been outstanding for England as well ever since he missed that decisive penalty against Italy at Wembley in the Euro final. So Bukayo Saka, Harry Kane, Phil Foden, who's been in outstanding form for Manchester City. So these three, yeah, of course. Raheem Sterling, he's basically a guy who was also expected to be in there. Raheem Sterling, he's someone who we all expected, even though his form has dropped off a cliff, basically dropped like a stone. His form since he has joined Chelsea, of course, you could say that he's been playing in a poorer side. There's one thing playing for Manchester City and scoring tap-in goals at far post, but it's totally another thing. Playing for a struggling side where you are expected to be the one who kind of makes things happen. And unfortunately for Chelsea, um, he hasn't been that player so far. And I mean, even though he's not been in form, I'd say that he he deserves to be in the squad. When last year England was struggling in the Euros, he was the one who got going first and got England playing well. And then he scored the winner against Croatia, scored the first goal against Germany as well in the first knockout game. Then it was then that the whole team got going with that. And so I mean, no problem with Sterling's name being in there as well. And so I mean, Phil Foden, Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling are all in there. The 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 names over which I did have some doubts are Jack Grealish, James Madison, Marcus Rashford, and Callum Wilson. As a Newcastle fan, I'm happy that he's getting to go, but his fitness is always a worry. He does tend to break down quite a lot. He he was injured during the last break. He came back. He's been in fine form. Scored quite a few goals for Newcastle. Didn't play yesterday against Crystal Palace in the League Cup, and scored goals against Tottenham. Scored twice against Aston Villa, and then who was it? Did Newcastle play? Southampton. He only played half the game because he was ill, and then there was another game which I'm probably missing. Um, in which he scored. He was very good against Brentford as well. Didn't score, but he set up a goal for Jacob Murphy. So yeah, I mean, like from England's point of view, Tammy Abraham, Ivan Tony, and and Callum Wilson. I guess Callum Wilson is a decent choice. I mean, you could as I said, as a Newcastle fan, I'm happy, but as a, I mean, being Callum Wilson, I'd be delighted. But he's worked hard, and he deserves to be in the mix. Well, congratulations to him. The three names that are left now are that of um, Jack Grealish, James Madison, and Marcus Rashford. I think let's discuss James Madison first. Uh, you know, this is just my feeling. If it wasn't for media pressure, I don't think. James Madison would have been picked. Yes, in my eyes, he deserves to be picked, but I don't know whether what was the when was the last time he was picked by England and he actually got to play meaningfully in a game. And yeah, so he's been picked. Um would he get to play that much? I'm not sure. Um, he if is to play, he'll play on the on the right side where he has been playing for Leicester, and as I said, he's been in excellent form. James Madison, he was outstanding against Everton at the weekend, and yeah, right side is somewhere. I think Gareth Southgate's front three will be Harry Kane. Harry Kane, Phil Foden, and Raheem Sterling. Um, and then I think he'll turn to either Bukayo Saka or Jack Grealish. That's what has been his go-to mantra, and whether he changes, I have my doubts whether he'll change or not. But my feeling is he won't. So congratulations on getting into the squad, but I do hope he gets some playing time. What can I say? Well deserved, but let's see what he gets to show when he actually is there. And Jack Grealish, Jack Grealish has become subject of all kinds of memes in the last couple of months. He he's he's been he's been awful for Manchester City in my eyes. At least he got an assist yesterday for one of the goals, and he ever since he made that comment about Miguel Almiron, his form hasn't been that good. He was okay when he came on against Italy, but I mean, it is what it is. He'll be probably used as an impact sub if England are trying to, you know, try and find. They're trying to find a winner, or if they are trying to find an equalizer or anything like that. I don't think he starts, and yeah, so let's see. And Marcus Rashford is the last one I wanted to discuss. Marcus Rashford, he's been if you listen to any Manchester United fan, they'd be happy that he's going, but in terms of form, has he done anything that merits an England call up? I would say no. He In the last game against Aston Villa, he was poor. They lost 3-1 against Manchester City. He was poor. Any match in Europa League, he's been not good at all. Uh, I am struggling to find the goals he might have scored. Yes, he missed a sitter against Newcastle. He scored a goal against West Ham. Very good header it was, but apart from that, he's not done that much. And of course, I'm not a professional football player, but he's he's a type of player who I'd say is pretty easy to play against, right? You can't play him centrally. He has to play either right or left of the main center forward, which would be Harry Kane, you would assume, or Callum Wilson, depending upon fitness, availability, suspensions, that kind of stuff. So I mean, fine. I mean, it's not for me to say, but Gareth Southgate has picked his squad. It's for up to him. Expectations are there with England, and let's see who England draw if they do get to the later rounds of the World Cup, which of course isn't that far now. Please for Ben White and some other players like Callum Wilson, who have shown form and have gotten selected, but I mean, some players are there just because their names are that. Harry Maguire, if you like, you must be having a laugh. No Jordan Henderson, of course. I don't think there is Jordan Henderson in the team. No, the Jordan Henderson is there, and yeah. So I mean, there are quite a few players who in terms of fitness and their longevity, are you know are going to you know be available based on the history. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, could it have been better? Maybe. Could there have been other players in? Definitely. And I just don't know what to say. Um, some people. I mean, yeah, of course, if you are an England player, you would be disappointed if your name is not in the squad, and yeah, so that's the thing, and I don't know. I'll just put the squad up once again if you want to see, and yeah, so this is the squad that England have named. I don't know the. I mean, of course you cannot make everyone happy that this not you can't take everyone. There were only 26 players who could go, but there are a few players who I don't know if I would have touched with even a 10-foot barge pole, because Calvin Phillips, I don't know how he's gotten selected. Harry Maguire, of course, you weren't going to drop him. Ben White, Trent Alexander-Arnold. If you're not confident, well, if they are your best options, then you go with them. But the kind of vibes you had been giving previously, some players are there just to make up the numbers. I don't think Southgate is going to play them. Um, you know, come what may, and it will be a miracle or an out of turn event where Gareth Southgate picks that player to go on the pitch and show his wares for the team, and so who let's see who the first England 11 representing their country is. My guess is uh, that it would be Jordan Pickford. Right hand side, it would be Kyle Walker, John Stones. Kyle Walker at the right wing back, John Stones, then Eric Dyer and Harry Maguire. On the left hand side, it would be Luke Shaw. Then in the midfield, it would be Bellingham and Rice. These are the eight players, and then we'll have in the front three. I think he'll start with Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane, as well as Phil Foden. Depending upon, they may change sides. So I think that's what he'll go with. Foden on the left, Sterling on the right, or Sterling on the left, Foden on the right. So this is what the 11 I think England chose will be for the first match against USA, which isn't that far away, about 11 days in about 11 days time. So yeah, going to back to the squad, a couple of surprises. Calvin Phillips is in there. Ben White is in there, and of course Marcus Rashford coming out of the blue is in the team. So these three players are, I think, are the ones which on which England players might have had fans might have had some doubt. Of course, Connor Cody as well. I don't think Connor Cody deserve to go. I watch Premier League all 10 matches every weekend. I watch every analysis based show, every piece of highlights, every piece of expert punditry. I personally feel I may be biased as a Newcastle fan, but I would have chosen Dan Burn over Connor Cody every day. But thing is that it may depend that whether you are choosing a right-sided center half or a left-sided one. But yeah, Dan Burn can play left back as well, where England are a bit short with the Ben Chilwell's injury. So of course, Kieran Trippier is a bit of a right-sided player. So uh, I mean, I mean, you could argue for X, Y, Z players, but yeah, of course, view me, both of or all of us have our choices. Uh, our choices. We could you know argue or debate, discuss till the cows come home that X should have been chosen, Y should have been chosen, Z should have been chosen. Then I mean, but the opportunity and the responsibility and then the accountability lies with Gareth Southgate. He is the one who has to show results. It's his head that is on the chopping block. I think he has still got a couple of years on his contract, England contract. So yeah. So that is those are his dues to pay, and this is what he has gone with. Of course, I would have gone with something else perhaps, and yeah. So let's see. Just before we go, the squad for Germany, France, and Belgium, three of the other front runners has also been announced, and yeah, some big surprises in there as well. The Germany have selected Yusufa Mokoko of he's just 17. So Yusufu Mokoko has I mean he's been in good form for Borussia Dortmund, but Germany squad selecting him. Really sad for Marco Reus. He's injured again, missed the 2014 World Cup as well, and he's been ruled out. Good for Leroy Sané that he got fit for the 2014 for the World Cup. Looked like he could be injured. So yeah, and for Belgium, no Batshuayi. Dries Mertens has been selected. I don't know how old is he. He's about 36, 37. So Dries Mertens is in there. I don't know. Alderweireld is in there. They have some really good players. Eden Hazard is in there. I'm not sure about Thorgan Hazard. And But Belgium, of course, will be one of the front runners for the World Cup. Lukaku, I don't know how long it has been since Lukaku played, but he's in the squad. Even last night when Inter just absolutely hammered Bologna 6-1, Lukaku, I don't think he played. So I don't know. There are perhaps doubts over his fitness, and It will be a tough season. I mean, it could be the great equalizer this season, and we could see some strange results. About France's World Cup squad, I was just checking it out, and they've only got one right-sided. I mean, like if they want to play three defenders, then they only have one right-sided defender in Benjamin Pavard. He's there. In terms of defense, they have decent cover. Of course, no Eduardo Camavinga for France. Chouamani is there, and let's see what France, Belgium, and Germany cook up. Of course, they are all expected to be, of course, making it out of their groups, but then it's luck of the draw, suspensions, injuries, etc. Everything will play a part in how far they go. So let's see. Anyways, that's it from my side. I'll see you in my next videos, and till then, if you're watching, then do drop in a like, and do subscribe to the channel. It will only help the channel grow. So until I see you next time, stay safe, take care, and bye for now.